The night Daniel agreed to the blind date, he almost didn't go. He stood in the small kitchen of his apartment, tying his only decent tie while his 6-year-old son slept in the next room, a nightlight glowing softly through the cracked door. The babysitter had canceled twice. The bills were stacked on the counter, and his heart still felt tired from a life that rarely slowed down. Daniel was a poor single dad who fixed elevators during the day and fixed broken dreams at night, mostly his son's. Dating felt like a luxury he couldn't afford, but a coworker had insisted. Just one coffee, she said, you deserve that. So he went. The cafe was warm and quiet, the kind of place where soft music filled the empty spaces people didn't know how to talk through. Daniel arrived early, hands wrapped around a cheap paper cup, rehearsing polite smiles in his head. Then he saw her. She sat at a corner table, shoulders trembling, tears falling freely into her hands. She wasn't checking her phone, she wasn't trying to hide it. She was crying the kind of cry that comes when holding it in is no longer possible. Daniel froze. He checked the message again, table by the window. Brown coat. That was her. He hesitated. Any normal person would have waited. But something about the way her chest rose and fell pulled him forward. He set his coffee down and spoke gently, like he did when his son woke from a nightmare. Hey, are you okay? She looked up, startled, eyes red and glassy. For a moment she seemed embarrassed, then her shoulders collapsed. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't mean to cry in front of you. It's okay, Daniel said quickly. You don't have to apologize. Bad days don't need permission. That did it. She laughed once, softly, through tears. I've had plenty of those. They sat in silence for a moment. Daniel didn't rush her. He just waited. I almost didn't come, she said finally. This was supposed to be a fresh start. Same, he admitted. She wiped her eyes. My name's Claire. Daniel. The waiter came, but Daniel waved him away. Give us a minute, he said kindly. Claire took a breath. I don't usually cry like this. I'm usually the one in control. Daniel smiled. Funny thing about control, it disappears when you need it most. She studied him. You're not uncomfortable. Not really, he said. My son cries a lot. You learn fast that listening matters more than fixing. Her eyes softened. You have a son, 6, thinks I'm a superhero because I can make grilled cheese. She smiled for real this time. They talked slowly at first, about life, about exhaustion, about how heavy expectations can be. Claire avoided details, but Daniel could tell. This was a woman used to strength, now completely empty. Then she took a deep breath and said the words that changed everything. I'm the CEO of the company you work for. Daniel blinked. I'm sorry, what? She gave a sad nod. I didn't recognize your name at first. Tonight was supposed to be anonymous. No titles, no power, just me. Her voice cracked, but today I laid off hundreds of people, signed papers that ruined families, and then I came here thinking I could pretend I was human for one night. Daniel sat back, stunned. I'm the one who approved your overtime requests, she continued quietly, and the one who denied your promotion. The air felt heavy. Daniel's heart pounded, not with anger, but something deeper, something broken. She looked at him, bracing herself. If you want to leave, I understand. He thought of the bills, the long nights, the rejection emails. Then he thought of her crying alone at that table. No, he said gently. I'm staying. She stared. Why? Because tonight. He said, you're not my CEO. You're just a person who had a hard day. Her eyes filled again. You know, he continued, I used to think powerful people didn't feel guilt, that they slept fine while the rest of us worried, but seeing you like this. He shook his head. It doesn't change my situation, but it changes how I see you. Claire whispered, what you said earlier, about listening instead of fixing. No one's done that for me in years. They talked for hours, not about business, about loneliness, about fear, about the quiet pressure to always be strong. When the cafe closed, Claire reached into her purse. Daniel, she said, steady now, I can't undo today, but I can do better tomorrow, starting with you. He raised a hand. Please don't say that because you feel bad. She met his eyes. I'm saying it because you reminded me why leadership should never forget kindness. Weeks later, Daniel received a call, not a promotion, but something better, flexible hours, childcare support, a role that valued his effort, not just his output. And Claire, she changed too. She started listening more, visiting offices, learning names. They didn't rush into love. They built trust first, slowly, honestly, because sometimes the most powerful thing two people can share isn't romance or status, it's humanity. And that night in a quiet cafe, a poor single dad and a crying CEO reminded each other of something the world often forgets. Kindness still matters,